Hey you guys, it's me, Brittany, here with Trinity's 3-week-old update. Even though she's almost 4 weeks old now, but it's okay. So I'll just update you guys on what's been going on since the last video. I was mentioning in the last video that we had to go back for a weight recheck on Thursday. So we did that, and she was 6 pounds and 2 ounces, which the pediatrician was pleased with that. But just to give a little story before that, basically that Wednesday evening I put her in her swing at like around 9 that evening or whatever, and was gonna cook, and after that ate, cleaned up the kitchen, and went to sleep. Normally I set like an alarm to wake up for like her feeding, since initially you're supposed to feed them every 2 to 3 hours, and I didn't set an alarm. And so next thing I knew, it was like 2 a.m. when she woke up. So she slept like a 5-hour span in her swing. But of course, I was freaking out because she had missed, a feeding. Like at that point, she should be on her second feeding. So I just felt really bad, and then was wondering if it was going to affect, my supply, since I'm trying to get that established. So anyway, proceeded to nurse her or whatever. So just after that, she was just fussy. So next thing I know, it's like almost 5 o'clock in the morning. So then I just decided I was going to give her formula, which I didn't want to do that because you guys know I'm trying to breastfeed. But then also, since we were having that weight recheck, I didn't know how that would affect her weight, because we were just trying to determine how much she was gaining from breastfeeding. So anyway, she ended up taking an ounce of formula, and she went right to sleep after that. So anyway, back to the doctor's visit. So I mentioned that to the doctor, and she was saying we didn't know how much of the weight gain was from the breast milk versus the formula, which, I'm assuming most of it probably was from the breast milk, because she only had an ounce of formula. So she was basically just telling me, not to stress out or feel bad if I wasn't going to continue with breastfeeding. And, she said it was like one of the most difficult things that she did, because, it's just very time consuming. And then with just adjusting from after having a baby and you're trying to recover. So, she said she breastfed with her first child and not her second. And she was saying it was fine to even mix the breast milk with formula. So I was just, really like stressed out, because I really, want to try to do this or whatever. So during the weekend, I was supplementing with the formula, and I had decided that I was going to look into a lactation consultant, because what I had noticed was after her feedings, I was still pumping quite a bit. So I was wondering if she wasn't receiving it from the breast, because I would just really just have to turn around and give her what I just pumped. While I was at the doctor's, I asked about a lactation consultant, if she could refer me to one. And so she said she had a list, but she wasn't able to find it. So then after that, I asked my doula about it. So she did refer me to one, a consultant who would come to your house do private sessions. And it was like $150, and then it's still like $100 if you went to her office. So didn't really want to go with that option. So I just fell back on what was given to me at the hospital. So with that, it was a list. It was like 4 different options. So they have like a weekly baby brunch that they have each week. That's like $8 or whatever, and they serve lunch, and it's hosted by a lactation consultant, and you're there with other new breastfeeding moms. And then they have like private sessions that were like $70. They had group sessions that were $25. So initially I was going to try to go with the lunch option, and just end up feeling up to it. So this past Monday, I went to the lactation consultant that does the group session. So it really worked out, you guys, because I was the only one who showed up. So it was kind of like having a private session, and it was totally worth the $25. And she spent like 2 hours with us, and it was the same lactation consultant who I saw at the hospital. So she actually remembered me. And so initially with the visit, she went over like my concerns or whatever. So just my main concerns was I producing enough? I don't know if I've shared this, but I'm producing more milk on one side than the other, like a significant difference. So I was wondering if she was like getting enough, or if the one, breast would kind of compensate for what she needed. So, and then just with the whole thing of having her feed for, probably over an hour, but then go to pump and still, pumping out quite a bit. So after that, she had me undress her to her diaper to weigh her, and she called this the true weight. But also she had just a diaper. Well, first I had to make sure she had a dry diaper. She had a wet diaper at the time, so I had to put her in a dry diaper and then have her weighed. And then she had already calculated the weight of just a diaper by itself, so she just deducted that. So she was 6 pounds 9 ounces, which she said that was a good weight gain, up from her birth weight and discharge weight and everything. So that was exactly a pound up from her discharge weight. So, I told her I had been supplementing with some formula or whatever, so that probably contributed to some of the weight. And so after that, she had me dress her again, and then she weighed her in grams. And then from after that, we were just going to see how many grams she put on, after the feeding or whatever. So I had her on the breast that produced more, and she probably was on it for like, I don't know, 30, 35 minutes. So then at that point, she just had me take her off, and then she checked her, and she had transferred 18 grams, which she would have expected her to do more for being on there such a long period of time. So she's like, okay, let's put her on the other breast. So the other breast, she said we were going to do it for a shorter period of time, and that was the one that doesn't produce as much. So she was on there like 10 minutes and had transferred 10 grams or whatever. So she was just really pleased with that she did it so quicker. And what she had noticed was she paid more attention with her latch, because she latches on, but with having large nipples, she needed to have like a deeper latch. So that's what we discovered was an issue. And she also had me do like compression and massage like on the breast to help bring the milk down just until she started sucking, and then kind of just show me what to look for with the difference of with how her chin looks when she's sucking and when she's swallowing. So I found that very helpful. So she's like, okay, let's put her back on the other breast. So once we did that, she wasn't on there that long, and she had transferred 24 grams. So with that converted to ounces, it was almost 2 ounces, which is about what she had been taking from the bottle. So I was seeing that it was pretty much equivalent. What she was transferring from the breast is what she was taking from the bottle. So it's just amazing the difference that having the proper latch and then with utilizing the compression, how helpful that is. And then she also had me advice with pumping. She's saying with the size of my nipples or whatever that I should get the larger breast shield. So I have the Medela breast pump, and the standards is 24 millimeters. So she had some breast shields there on sale. So she sold me the 27 millimeter, but I just got one because she was saying she thought I might. Even though I have large nipples and I have one nipple that's larger than the other. So she thought for the one that I might need the 30 millimeters. So, yeah. So I saw the difference with the 27, and then I did go ahead and get 30 millimeter. But with looking online now that I do see it is different connectors when you buy the different sizes. So I'm going to go ahead and get that because I'm sure that'll make a difference too. And she also recommended the Mother Loves More Milk Plus, and that's an herb. Well, it has different herbs in it, and it helps to increase your milk supply. And it comes in a capsule form, and it also comes in a liquid form. So I've been taking that, and I have seen a difference because she said it makes a difference within 48 hours. And she said she would write up a report and she would send it to the pediatrician. But she, she said she felt that I was doing fine, and she just pretty much said I was kind of just second guessing myself. And she told me it was fine to continue like with pumping, and she said hopefully eventually I can get off the formula, and maybe just for the time being exclusively have her on the breast. But if I felt that I still needed to pump, then to continue to do so. So I found that really helpful. So I just wanted to share that, just to say, like, for those of you, if you are having breastfeeding issues and you really want to do it, look into the resources. I just found that was very valuable to me. That was really worth the $25, and she spent over 2 hours with us. So they're just these individuals. They're certified in what they do, and they're good at finding the issue. You could just have like a little simple issue that could easily be resolved. So since I do have to have her latch on deeper, that does take a little bit of work with making sure she opens wide, or she doesn't open wide enough, with making sure I keep pulling her lower lip down. I learned that it's the lower lip that does most of the work with the breastfeeding, and with doing the massage compression and just making sure she stays close to the breast without blocking her nose. So yeah, I would highly recommend a lactation consultant if you need one, and then especially like if if your hospital has like those resources, utilize that. I mean, they're all certified, so instead of dishing out like so much money. I mentioned in the visit that we had before the weight recheckup that her umbilical cord stump had fallen off, but she still had what they call the granuloma. And so the doctor had applied the silver nitrate. So that just came off a couple days ago. So basically, it took like almost 10 days for it to come off after even being dried up with the silver nitrate. Other than that, I'm noticing a lot of the baby acne on Trinity. But I mean, I've seen lots of babies with that, and then based on reading it, it's very common. And whatever, it usually lasts like a few weeks, and it's due to like the hormones that we transfer to the baby. And I don't know if breastfeeding plays a role in that. So I just read, unless it's has persisted a couple months, and that's when it's an issue. And then other than that, been doing some like co-sleeping in the morning. Like, I told myself I wouldn't do this, but it just seems that's the only way I kind of can get some decent sleep. And she's comfortable, and I'm comfortable. So usually, it's in the morning, like after my husband has gone to work, because I don't feel good about doing it like at night, especially if I have like the lights off or whatever. I don't want to like roll over on her or anything. So yeah, so that seems to kind of be working out. I just don't want her to get too like used to that, because I mean, I don't intend for her to stay in bed with us or with me. So let me go ahead and show y'all Miss Trinity at 3 weeks. She's sleeping, so oh. Here she is. So thank you guys for watching, and I will do an update after we have our 1 month appointment next week. I can't believe it. Time is going by so fast. So see you guys next time.